Today I'm going to be showing you guys some exciting commercial products from Breville. And we're making a lemon-infused cheesecake with strawberry topping, full ingredients, no skimping, and we'll be creating the recipe right in the blender. Best of all, we're not baking it in the oven, it will be cooked sous vide and it's going to be great. We're going to be talking about the all-new Breville Super Q Pro. Now I have been a Breville fan for years. I've used my Breville products in many of my videos. I have the Breville Tea Maker, not only a beauty, but perhaps top in the industry. Now I'm a coffee drinker at heart, and I use my Smart Grinder Pro every day. Now my Breville Big Squeeze sits right on my counter. It's an excellent masticating juicer and is very quiet. Another daily use product for me, my Breville 3-in-1 Combi Wave Oven. It's a microwave convection oven and an air fryer in one. Honestly can't get along without it, okay? And to cook the cheesecake via sous vide, we'll be using my new fave, the Breville Polyscience HydroPro Plus Immersion Circulator. So let's talk about the Breville Super Q Pro. Now this machine is certified for commercial use and comes with a 1-year commercial warranty. Now Breville states it is designed and engineered to be used in a restaurant, smoothie bar, cruise ships, bars, coffee houses, and if you have a small business involving food service, this is perfect for that. Now while you can use this at home, Breville does make a similar model for home use with a longer warranty. Now this model has specific functions tailored for chefs, and I'll go over that. The Super Q Pro comes with two 68-ounce jugs. In a commercial kitchen, you generally prep with one and finish your recipe in the other. And also in the box is a blend tamper and a silicone blend scraper tool. Now, of course, the instruction manual, you guys, that I know you will read, right? Okay. No doubt this is a beautiful machine. Now the motor base is brushed stainless steel. Now inside it has an 1800 watt motor with a decoupled fan that runs independently from the motor to offer optimum cooling at all speeds. And it does make a difference based on how the cheesecake is created coming up in the video. Now you guys know I love thick power cords that can withstand the wear and tear of a real-world kitchen, along with a 3-prong connector. Now, this plug has an assistive feature, the hole right here, to help remove the cord from the wall. Now, one uncommon feature is that it has a built-in cord storage housed inside the base. Now, it's nice, but I will say that it's easy to pull out, but it's more difficult to push back in. An issue I ran into with the jug is that the lid is quite difficult to remove, even with the helper handle. This is not unique to this model. I've seen this with other Breville blenders. Now, this is due to the very thick gasket built into the lid. Now, it's good for keeping it in place, but I had to create a trick to make it easier to remove. Now, you want to place your finger into the helper handle and lift 2 clicks. Now, let me show you that again. And after the second click, place your thumb underneath the handle and push upwards. It comes off easily. The lid cap includes a measuring cup for adding ingredients such as spices and additional flavors. The control panel uses a membrane keypad to protect from spills, and it has 5 presets, but these are not common presets found in home machines, but rather for commercial environments. So it has pulse, ice crush, smoothie, the stir button for consistent low speed without pulse, boost goes to maximum speed instantly, a bit more to smooth out rougher textures without overblending, and then you have a clean function and a programmable timer. And it also includes a stainless steel speed dial that has names for certain blend speeds rather than a speed number. Now this can be helpful for specific recipe types, but since ingredients can vary, it's best to choose your own speed and not just go by what the blender tells you, or you may end up with mixed results. So you guys, how about we make a cheesecake? So every summer for our family get-togethers or the holidays, I am summoned to make my famous strawberry swirl cheesecake garnished with strawberries. And by the way, this is my cheesecake from Christmas. I didn't Google this picture, okay? So today we're making individual sizes for one. Now this is a lemon-infused cheesecake with strawberry topping. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, this machine comes with 2 jugs. Now we're going to create the graham cracker crust in one and use the other to create the cheesecake batter. Now this will be enough for a 9-inch springform pan, so we need 2 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Using the stir speed, it will pulse the graham crackers. Now as they break down, slightly increase the speed until you get powdery crumbs. Then add 1/2 cup of unsalted melted butter, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Start back on low speed to incorporate the ingredients. Then pour it into a bowl and set it aside. And you can see that it can be pressed into a pie crust. Now if you're using a springform pan, press it into the pan, cover it with plastic wrap, and place it in the refrigerator. So the reason I'm making the cheesecake batter in the blender instead of a mixer is because professional blenders now come with bowl-shaped containers, jugs, pitchers, and they are now more of a food processor than they are simply a smoothie machine. So we're going to be using the tamper to assist processing the cream cheese into a batter. We're starting with a total of 32 ounces of room temperature full fat cream cheese, processing in batches, so this is half first. Speed will be adjusted to mix. Now if you have a Vitamix, use speed 5. Now the blades are churning the cream cheese easily. The tamper is just to keep it pressed into the blades. Now it's important to know, you guys, this entire preparation has to be done on low to medium speed, so a professional blender is needed because they have a more efficient cooling system. Now we're putting in the other 16 ounces of cream cheese. And you just want to churn the cream cheese until smooth. Now add 1 cup of granulated white sugar and 3 tablespoons of all-purpose white flour. Just mix in the sugar and flour until incorporated. Now we're adding 5 whole large eggs, and they need to be room temperature. We're adding 1 egg at a time. Blending each one into the mixture. Okay, now the next egg. Now at this point, you'll notice the mixture becoming more liquid-like, and you will no longer need the tamper. Now continue to add each egg until they mix in. Now because the mixture is becoming more liquid, slightly reduce the speed. Now add the final egg. Now 1/3 cup of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of lemon zest. Now, just incorporate these ingredients on low speed. Now, at this point, you can scrape your sides if necessary. Then mix in what you scraped just for about 15 seconds or until smooth. And then you're done. Now, because we're making a cheesecake, you want a dense texture, so you want to blend on low speed so it won't introduce air. Now, this recipe can be done on Vitamix machines, you guys, but use the 64-ounce container for the full recipe. Now, if you notice, the blender method does not require constant scraping like a mixer, and chances are your blender is already on your counter. We're making these in jars, so you want to spray your jars with cooking spray that includes flour for easy removal. Now, it's not necessary because you can eat the cheesecake right out of the jars, which is the point of making smaller cheesecakes. Now we're adding the graham cracker crust. Just fill it to cover 1/8 to 1/4 of the bottom. Then press it like you would do for a pie pan. Now pour in your cheesecake batter. Now look how smooth and creamy it turns out. And you want to fill the jar just below the lid grooves. Now add the sealing cap and the lid. Now, here's what you have to do. Screw down the lid just until it stops. Don't over tighten it. Now, this is to allow the steam to escape during cooking. Now we're ready to cook the cheesecake sous vide using my HydroPro Plus. Now I'm going to show you guys the toolbox first. Now this model has a library for different foods, meats, fruits, vegetables, and desserts via touchscreen. Now for example, I'm choosing root vegetables. Now it will show you how to package it for vacuum sealing or the use of jars. Now the following screen is for the cooking temperature. Now it does not have recipes. This is made for chefs and restaurants. I believe in cheating a little, you guys. Breville has a more affordable immersion circulator called the Jewel. It's the white device you see at the top. It's one of the biggest selling circulators, and it has an app for your smartphone with recipes, pictures, and video clips. Let me show you how this works. Scrolling down, I'm choosing desserts. Now scrolling down further, I'm choosing decadent cheesecake. It shows you the finished recipe. Now, clicking the temperature, it shows you how it would look with the chosen temperature and the length of the cook time. Then select the time and it's ready. Now, the reason why I call this a cheat, because you don't need the Jewel to use this app. It's a free download on the App Store. Now I'm going to place the cheesecake batter jars into the water bath. Now, if you're not familiar with sous vide cooking, it's done underwater. It's French for cooking under vacuum. It's the most effective way for even cooking and perfect results. Now, I'm getting my hands all wet for you guys today. Now, don't worry about the jars. The water will not seep through the lids. During cooking, heat rises, so it's possible the jars will float. So to remedy this, I'm using a heavy chain to drape over them. Now this will keep them in place. Placing a lid over the bath protects from heat loss and evaporation. Now I have my cook time saved in a preset, and I just have to choose Start. Now at this time, the immersion circulator preheats the water to temperature. This is how it looks close up. Now the sound you guys may be hearing is actually my refrigerator. Now the HydroPro Plus is so quiet, I have to silence the house and put my ear to it to hear anything. Now it's reached the cooking temperature of 176 degrees Fahrenheit, and all I have to do is tap start and the cheesecakes will be done in 1 hour and 30 minutes. And you guys, that's literally foolproof. Now, if I let it go, say 2, 3, 4, or 5 hours, it doesn't matter. The cheesecake will not overbake like it would in an oven. Now, the circulator will beep when it's done, but I don't have to rush to shut it off. That's the beauty of sous vide cooking. It's fully cooked. Now I'm going to remove the lid. Here it is close up, evenly cooked. Now you should run your knife around the edge. Now, usually this is to protect cheesecakes from cracking while they chill in the refrigerator. Now we're putting the lid back in place and set it into the refrigerator, preferably overnight so it's nice and firm. This is a ready-to-eat cheesecake. Dip it in hot water for about 5 to 10 seconds to loosen it up for removal, unless you plan to serve it right from the jar. Place a plate on top and do the flip. Give it a few taps to push the cheesecake out. Now place another plate over the bottom and flip it upside right. And there you go. So let's dip a spoon into this, you guys. It's nice and creamy with a crunch of the graham cracker crust at the bottom. It's smooth and rich with a slight lemon scent to it. What should I do with this? Now let's cut into it with this butter knife. It's perfectly cooked all the way through. Now often oven-baked cheesecakes will be a bit soft in the middle. Now I'm going to show you restaurant-style plating. Now this is the larger one of the cheesecakes. Always use a white plate. Drizzling strawberry topping on the plate and over the cheesecake. Now this is strawberry topping, not syrup. Add a mint leaf for color, which you can push the stem right into the cheesecake. Then a spoon. And there you go. Sous Vide Lemon-Infused Cheesecake with strawberry topping. No corners cut here, you guys. This is a full decadent cheesecake. You can serve these at summer parties or formal dinners, and your guests will think you had a top chef make it. Sous vide is a game changer. It will turn you into the chef you never thought you could be. Now, since this recipe covers the full 9-inch springform pan, and you have a tub big enough, you can sous vide a whole cheesecake. Just add a silicone or heat-proof lid to the top and vacuum seal the entire pan. For conventional oven baking, place your springform pan covered in aluminum foil into a roasting pan as you see here. Now I recommend baking in a water bath to help prevent the cheesecake from cracking. So we're pouring water into the roaster, about 1/4 of an inch up. Now during baking, you guys check for evaporation, add more water if necessary. This is not a substitution for sous vide cooking. Now preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for about 15 minutes. Then lower your temperature to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Today we made a cheesecake batter in a blender and baked the cheesecake with this Immersion Circulator. Now you can use these commercial products right in your home, but Breville has versions of these types of products for home use as well. Now later on I'm going to show you guys more about sous vide cooking and searing meats and induction burners, because induction is also another game changer. And of course it will all be tied into blending. Alright. Alright you guys, if you're interested in these amazing Breville commercial products or the cheesecake recipe, see the links below the video or on blendingwithhenry.com. See you soon.